Rogue Heroes Ruins of Tasos was released for the PC and Switch in February earlier this year. Off the bat, it's a Zelda-style adventure game with a pixel art aesthetic and a large overworld to explore. The land of Tasos is quite expansive, covering several environments ranging from frozen tundras to magma rivers to swamplands. But fair warning, if you have any nightmares about drowning in mud, well... There is a semblance of story here at the start, but that's largely shuffled off into the background and you're plonked into the central hub of Intori Village. I'm not sure why it's called a village at the start since it's just a cabin with one man, but old mate here offers to build one up for you. But before he can do any of these upgrades to your village, you need gems, and this is where the dungeons come into play. There are several scattered around the map, as is typical of most games in this genre, and require completing a quest or a certain bit of equipment to access. The dungeon levels are randomly generated, but they are built from pre-generated rooms, so you might see the same room twice in a single level. There's a variety of puzzles, some of which are very simple, and some which might take a moment to figure out, along with traps, monsters, and a big bad boss at the end. And all these dangers that are trying to kill you pale in comparison to the vile and insidious pot snake. Seriously, these things are a pain in the ass. I lost count how many times these little buggers caused me grief. Sure, you can see the occasional pot rolling around, but not all of them do this. Thankfully, you get to keep all the gems you've collected when you die, and you will die, and get resurrected back in your home. From here, you can build up your village with tradesmen to upgrade your equipment, training centers to upgrade your character's stats, a potion shop to brew a variety of potions, though healing potions were the only ones I used, new houses to house new inhabitants, I'd rather call them freeloaders, upgrade your own home, and a farm for those who need their harvest moon fix. The farming system is fairly stock standard for the most part. You can plant, cultivate, harvest, and sell your crops for coins, but it does have an economic system of supply and demand built in. If you sell too much of one crop, the price for them will bottom out while others will skyrocket. However, this isn't a necessary part of the game and can be skipped without issue. There's a few side quests scattered around the world, such as a bestiary that you can fill up by beating enemies over the head with a book. Don't bother trying to figure out the logic of that. Gathering quests for additional potion bottles, and seeking out power balls, just in case your current set of balls aren't powerful enough. The game can feel a little grindy at times due to dungeon difficulty ramping up, requiring you to gain a hefty buff. However, by the time you finish the main campaign, it doesn't feel stretched out. The ending is pretty weak, but not surprising considering there wasn't much of a story to begin with. There's also an endless dungeon at the end if you still feel like coming back and playing some more. But this is 4-play. How does multiplayer go? Well, the game works just fine as a single-player game. There's the option for local and online multiplayer with up to 4 players. In this mode, you get the additional mechanic of being able to revive a dead party member while still in a dungeon. By bringing their remains to one of the shrines scattered around the level, you can resurrect a teammate and delve deeper into the dungeon. You also get your equal share of the gems, so you won't be fighting over them. Local works just fine, and I'd recommend it for some family fun. Online is where things start falling apart. For starters, there's no chat box on the main screen or even a way to see if anyone's online. You'd have to start your own lobby and just hope somebody else joins in. The other option is to find a group of friends and start the game that way, but there have been major issues with desync between the host and other players, and for a game like this where quick action is required, it makes for a rather poor experience. However, the developers have mentioned that they are planning on fixing this issue in the future. Plus, there are other areas like this dungeon listed as under construction, and routes that are blocked off by what appear to be breakable rocks in the water yet to be accessed. In the end, I wouldn't recommend anyone buy this game with only online co-op in mind or those seeking a narrative-rich story. But if you're looking for an enjoyable adventure game that you can also play with some friends on a couch, give it a go. And that just about wraps this one up. I'd like to thank you all for watching and we'll catch you next time.